All right, so I just got out of the gym. I did legs. It was a leg day today. And like I had mentioned in one of the other videos, if you track your PRs, it can become intense. It can go from a leg day that's meh, to a leg day that is like brutal. And so there's this gentleman in the gym, and super cool dude, like him. We get along real well, and not every time, a few times. Today was one of them. Because I don't load, depending on what I'm doing, will determine how much I load the machine. I mean, various factors here, right? And mind you, about a year ago, I started running for different reasons, and I was a little bit heavier, and I used to be a good runner. Long story short, I screwed up my tendon, and it hasn't quite been the same since. So I've been trying to get stronger, but being careful. I'm not like pushing heavy loads. But as we know, progressive loading, it's critical, it's important, especially when you're natural. But I'm careful. I still have progression, but I'm careful. So on certain movements, I don't load it that heavy. I progress, but I don't load it that heavy because I'm careful. And this particular movement, it wasn't loaded heavy, but I have a baseline of progression, right? A baseline load, and I've progressed. And I'm on, I think, week 8 now with this. And it's a leg press, but it's a lower stance leg press. And my heels come up and I get full range, like really, I get the depth. And I'm targeting my quads. I'm shifting tension. I'm not isolating, but I'm shifting tension to the front, so the quads, based off of where my foot placement is. And I get the depth, so my heels come up. And they're controlled, nothing crazy. And I ain't over here CrossFitting these reps, if you know what I mean. So he comes over, and again, this has only happened a few times, but he's like, hey, what's up? And I got done doing a set, and it was actually a higher rep set. So the placement, the full range, higher reps, it's kind of a recipe for lighter loads, shall we say. And he comes over, and I was like, hey man, what's up? And he's like, he said something. I'm like, yeah man, I'm just making my PRs. Or no, he came up and he's like, you making your PRs today? And I'm like, yes, sir. And it wasn't too heavy. And he looks at it and he's like, you're making PRs with this? Well, come on. And I'm like, well, yeah, I have a baseline. I had a baseline number, and now I'm just going up from there. And I'd mentioned my injury that I had. And he's like, oh yeah, I have something with my knee too, and the tendon. So anyway, the point of all of this is, it doesn't matter. You want to focus on getting stronger. That is key. Strength is critical. You want to always try to progressively load. But what matters is, as long as you're progressively loading, in conjunction with intensity and, of course, controlled repetitions. It doesn't matter how heavy the weight is. As long as you attempt to get stronger and it's intense enough and you get proximal to muscular failure. And it's controlled, and these are quality repetitions. Now, I'm not saying just camp out at that light load forever. I'm not saying you shouldn't try to get stronger. You should. You should always try to get stronger. But don't go in trying to ego lift, because typically you have sloppy form, your tempo is not good, and it can be dangerous. So it doesn't matter what you're lifting. Don't go in thinking that you're going to feel embarrassed because you're lifting such light weight. Progress. It is important. Get stronger. I'm not saying don't get stronger. Progression, load progression, is critical, especially when you're natural. It's imperative when you're natural. When you're enhanced, it doesn't really matter. But when you're natural, load progression matters. However, you don't have to go in right off the bat lifting heavy loads. Have a baseline. Let the muscles adapt. Let the tendons, let the structural tissues adapt. Get stronger. And from that baseline, you go up. Just make sure that you are progressing in load, and make sure that those sets are quality and you are getting near muscular failure and you're not shying away from muscular failure. So don't be fixated on lifting heavy weight. Don't think you have to go in with an ego. You don't. You want to make sure that your reps are quality, they're controlled, they're full range of motion in most cases, full range of motion, and you get proximal to muscular failure. And from there, you track it and you go up. And you just get better and better each time while maintaining mechanics, while maintaining tempo, while maintaining full range of motion, if that's what you're doing, if that's what you're tracking. So don't go in thinking that you have to impress anybody. You don't have to impress the chicks, the bros, nobody. It doesn't matter. Okay, so check the mirror. Check the ego at the door, check the mirror instead. That's how that saying goes. It's a better solution. Your focus should be on quality repetitions, quality sets with the elements of progressive load. That is what matters. Especially, I'm going to say it over and over again, especially when you are natural and not taking the sauce. Progressive load, intensity of effort. That's it.